Alright, so, welcome back everybody. Before we get underway here with this DLC, I should probably say a couple of things. One, it's been a long time since I've done this DLC. Even when I did my test run before this playthrough, I actually didn't do this DLC. I actually stopped to prepare for this playthrough before I was going to do it at this point. So, I don't think I've done this DLC since the last time I did a playthrough of this game on the channel, which was, gosh, at least a few years at this point. So my memory on this DLC is going to be a little rusty compared to, say, Legacy that I know better. Plus, as I've said, Legacy is a mandatory DLC before you do Inquisition. This DLC, unfortunately, I cannot say the same thing. This DLC, unfortunately, doesn't have the same kind of relevance, and I wish it did. And I remember actively looking for any kind of connection to this DLC during our time in Inquisition, and I cannot remember if there even was. There may have been a reference to the character that we are going to be spending time with in this DLC, but I actually cannot remember if we ever get any reference to her in Inquisition at all. If there is, I may have either missed it or may have completely forgotten about it. But I guess we'll find out when we go through it again later on this channel. Now, in regards to the character, I think I've heard some people say that they're not fond of this DLC, mainly because they think it focuses too much on the character that they feel like was not really fitting for this, or not, I'm saying that wrong. Some people have an issue with things that are made with a specific, how do I put this? Person in mind, celebrity, I guess I could say. I'm referring to Felicia Day. Now, I have nothing against Felicia Day at all. I've never had any reason to have anything against Felicia Day. I know she's very popular and very well known. She's, though I personally can't remember what she's very famous for, what she's well known for. I know that she's probably considered a big geek like the rest of us. She's really into all the geeky stuff, video games, comics, all that stuff that we're all big enthusiasts of, and she's very much an enthusiast about those things just as much as we are. So that's cool. So I can't remember if people, I know a lot of people love her. I have a feeling that there are plenty of people out there that just don't like her or even hate her, because that's just kind of how it is. Usually, when you're a famous person, you're going to have people that love you and people that absolutely hate you. I don't know why they would. I haven't really gone looking for why or what the reasons for. I tend to try and stay away from that because, I just don't want to be starting to delve into that abyss of horribleness as that it could possibly be from that kind of group of people. Let's just say I've seen groups of people like that are dedicated to hating somebody, and it really just puts me off. Really puts a bad taste in my mouth when I see that kind of behavior, or people that just seem to outright dedicate so much time and energy to hating someone or something, but especially someone. It just really puts me off. So, as far as I can recall, I don't remember how many people or what people really felt about this DLC. They were just kind of meh, I think, on it. Like, it was an extra piece of content for this game that some of us were eagerly wanting, for a long time. We had the Legacy DLC, but then we had this come out later on. It was kind of like, oh, I can go back to Dragon Age 2 for more content, I guess. And it was just kind of like, oh, okay. And I think it's because maybe it focuses so much on this new character that we've never heard of and never see again, and it's played by Felicia Day. And I guess for some people that's very off-putting. Maybe they thought it was made, specifically for her or with her in mind. I don't know. It's been a number of years since this came out, so I can't really share with you or recall how people have felt about this. I can only recall that this is a DLC that unfortunately doesn't really have any kind of significance going forward. The only thing that I can really take away from this DLC is that it tries to add more to the world building involving the Kunari and the people who live within Par Valen, and just the society of the Kunari itself. It tries to kind of add more to that aspect, the lore and the world building, which I think is cool, especially considering that going forward we get even more of that with Iron Bull later on, and maybe we'll get even more with the next game that comes out. So I will say that's kind of cool. It's just probably that because it focuses a lot on this character while also dealing with this thing, which also gives us an idea of what is going on with some part of Orlais. We, of course, would get plenty more of that when we get to Inquisition. But, yeah. Forgive me if I also kind of stumble through this DLC. Like I said, it's been a long time since I've done this. So, yeah. Anyways. Where do you see we get started with Mark of the Assassin? So we will be getting Bethany later on, but there's an initial portion here that we gotta take care of before we continue. Apparently Varric is locked in here. I didn't even realize that.
You've been wasting my time, Varric. It stops now.
Seeker, you wound me.
The champion nearly starts a war, and you're all too happy to bury it beneath your words. You will tell me about the Kunari.
What's left to say? The Arishok was killed and a champion crowned.
And yet we had Orlesians threatening sanctions of every kind and measure. What happened at Chateau Hain? What happened with Tallis?
You've heard about her?
We had someone there, but they lacked your access. Whatever Tallis was to the champion, it seems like it angered a nation.
Thousands of lives were at stake, Seeker.
Perhaps one still is.
Nicely non-specific. All right, let me set the scene. An ambush, an invitation, a hunting party. All because of Tallis.
And of course, there's no one.
All I know is it had something to do with you and nobles. Edge is usually very reliable.
That's what you get for listening to someone named Edge.
This is normally when we're ambushed.
Why? It's not always an ambush.
Varric?
Right. Maybe sometimes it's an ambush.
And there is the champion of Kirkwall. You die today.
Oh!
I love how we're just standing here, watching this, not helping her at all.
Kill her! Kill all of them!
Well, what are you waiting for?
Now, if you're wondering, wait a minute, how is she so good that she can be able to take them all out by herself? There's an explanation for that.
There's nothing like the smell of fresh blood.
Sloppy. You'd think the crows would be better at this. They've been doing it for ages.
Not one more step before you tell me who you are.
Ah, the suspicious sort, I see.
Not without reason. Rogue women with knives are untrustworthy.
We get ambushed a lot.
Your timing is a little convenient.
Oh, I didn't arrange this, but it's no coincidence I'm here. My name is Tallis, and I've been looking for you.
Looking for me?
Looking for the woman who has an invitation to Chateau Hain, to be specific.
Oh, that's what Edge was on about. You remember? Duke Prosper, the one who fawned all over you at the Champion of Kirkwall banquet. He talked about a hunt.
No, I don't remember.
I wouldn't dismiss it out of hand. The Duke is a delightful host, or so I hear.
Let me guess, this isn't just a social call?
I need to relieve him of something he has no right to possess. And I can't do it alone.
You want to rob him?
Well, stealing from Orlesians is never wrong. Or so I've been told.
This isn't how I was planning to ask you this. I was picturing an introduction with less blood.
I love how Varric, says that. I mean, after all, they're just Orlesians.
What makes you think I steal things just because people ask me to?
Well, I would.
That's our Isabella. Such a giver.
I may have talked you up a bit. Maybe more than once.
Oh, Varric.
Or I could tell everyone how you slaughtered your way through half of Kirkwall.
All I've heard is that you get things done. I'm hoping that's true.
By the way, yes, you can, quote-unquote, romance Tallis, but it's just kind of pointless, honestly. There's really nothing to it. It's not like it's going to carry forward or have any kind of impact. I guess this was just a way, and maybe this is one of the reasons why some people are, I'm guessing, are a little put off by this DLC. It seemed like it was a way for people to romance Felicia Day, or, something along those lines. That's just probably the vibe I'm picking up on. Yeah, it's just kind of like nothing really comes of it. It's just really no point to it. And yeah, this hawk is not really interested in flirting with Tallis, especially when she already has her elf right over here. So
We barely met, and I'm supposed to help you out?
Isn't that what you do?
She's got you there.
So tell me, what exactly is it you want to steal?
A jewel. The Duke thinks it's valuable, and it is. Just not in the way he believes. What's more, he shouldn't have it in the first place. He who wishes to walk on water must first learn to swim. Come with me to Chateau Haine. I'll explain everything on the way. If nothing else, you get fine wine and fancy company. But I hope you want more than that.
now that line about
Do I ever?
Do you really need to pillage the dead?
Pillage and plunder is half the fun.
So that line she said about the fish and swimming, let's just say that sounded rather familiar when you think about it. Like, think about how she said that. That's something that we would probably would have heard, say, I don't know, the Arishok say, which should give you an early foreshadowing hint about what's to come. Renzo, someone has to clean up what's left of Edge. The squirrely little dwarf made a mess when we questioned him, but we got what we needed. Hawk will be in Hightown Market tonight. Be sure to deliver the best regards of Lord Friedrich's family.
We'll head out when you're ready, and I'll explain on the way.
Alright, so now this is where we get to... So, Tallis is actually a party member in this DLC, but only in this DLC. It's not like when you finish the DLC, she then joins your party. Because remember, this is an alternate story that Varric is telling Cassandra of what happened at the chateau, not part of the main story that's happening right now. And yes, we're actually going to be able to take our sibling with us. So we're going to take... Well, obviously we're going to have Tallis in the party, but we're also going to take Bethany and Fenris.
The jewel we're after is called the Heart of the Many.
Interesting name.
Interesting jewel. All I care about is getting it away from the Duke. Here's the problem. The heart is in a vault, behind who knows what kind of traps. Protected by a private army of Orlesian chevaliers. All inside a fortress that was designed to be impregnable. And let's not forget, it's on the side of a mountain, in the middle of nowhere, surrounded by monsters.
Lovely.
And dressed as dears, Prosper. When is this going to get started?
Presently. All right, everyone. You'll know the tradition, yes? The first to find and slay a wyvern wins the honors of the evening. And bragging rights, of course. Good luck to you all.
I think you want to move. Now.
Ah, the champion of Kirkwall. These are honored guests. Please excuse Kahir. A polite bodyguard is a contradiction in terms, or so I am told.
A chastened? Here?
Ah yes, you are Ferelden, aren't you? You would know of his people.
The Wilders are cannibals, among other things.
I will have to take account of the guests once the hunt is done, then. And who is this lovely specimen?
You flatter me, Your Grace.
I must say I didn't really expect you. I already have an Emel, you see. Or Orc, I suppose it is. A member of the Kirkwall Circle of Magi, no less. And endlessly charming.
Sister?
Perhaps you should join forces to avoid any appearance of collusion between parties. At any rate, I won't keep you from the hunt. Wouldn't want you to fall behind the others, yes?
I don't think I've ever encountered a wyvern before.
And why would you? There are exceptional beasts, magnificent cousins to the mighty dragon. My only advice? Beware their poison. It's the deadliest thing about them, as well as the most valuable.
The other hunters will need the head start.
Ah, confidence. I like it. Good luck to you, my lady. Remember, fortune favors the bold.
When he was like, and who is this lovely specimen? I was going to be like, oh, his name is Fenris. And there was like, oh, wait, you're talking about Tallis. Oh. Alright. Wow, she has a lot of points. Alright. And obviously, so does Tallis as well. Actually, no, she doesn't have any points. She just has a lot of ability points. Oh, boy. Ugh. This is gonna take me a bit. Oh yeah, she also has her own tree called Infiltrator. Tallis shows great aptitude for the sorts of skills that a cat burglar might need, but who precisely would have taught her such talents? Ah, who indeed. We will obviously talk about that later, once it becomes revealed. Because, yeah, there's obviously quite a few revelations in this DLC. Just going to go ahead and kind of fill this out for the time being. Give her some abilities here and there. May have to also go ahead and... requires rush. I hate it when it doesn't, like, actually acknowledge that I clicked on something. Okay. What are her tactics? So she is a scrapper. Excellent. Okay. So, as far as Bethany, she has her circle mage robes, lol. So let's test this. Can I actually put this on her? I can, actually, it looks like. That was the armor that I was wearing. This is supposed to, so let's go ahead and put this on her and see how it looks. So this is supposed to be the Dragon Knight mod armor for a mage. Doesn't look bad on Bethany. But what I really want to do is, of course, save that for later at the end of the game in case that bug we've been encountering with Bethany does happen. We'll save that for later, I guess, since this is totally fine. She also, does she have? Yep, she has the staff from the Legacy DLC. I wasn't sure if that was going to carry over or not, but maybe it did because we did that DLC in Act 2, because if you're wondering how does this play out differently based on when you choose to do this DLC. Now, you're getting to the benefit of being referred to as the Champion of Kirkwall, which, of course, in Orlesian or lay, that obviously gives you more status, which they are more than happy to bring you along. Now, if you did this earlier in like Act 2 or even Act 1, you're brought here as part of, the Amels. You'll notice that the Duke referred to Bethany as an Amel. And that's kind of part of the draw of you getting to be a part of this event over here, that you are part of the Amels. Now, Tallis has her own armor as well as her own weapons. 2 daggers called Catherine and Thane. Very, of course, lol, nice reference there, BioWare. Because that they, of course, had to get a reference in there as well, so...
I provide equipment from...
Apparently I had some junk on me. An imported Antivan blade. An imported circle staff. Of course, the game is like, oh, hey, you, depending on where you were, you may not have all the stuff you probably would actually want, so...
You have come a long way to join our Duke, Sirrah. You'll pardon me for saying that you do not seem like a hunter. A word of caution since you are new to this. Wyverns spit venom. Their victims suffer terrible pain before they die.
Death is always the result, then?
Depending on exposure, it may take days. But yes, death is always the outcome if the poison isn't treated.
Since people hunt these creatures successfully, I imagine there's a trick to learn.
There are many tricks. It is best not to face the beasts head-on. Flank them. Blind them if you can.
I'll do whatever I can to avoid being hit, then.
May Andraste keep you safe. If you fail to avoid the venom completely, there are treatments. A distillation of herbs, equal parts, Drakevein, Andraste's mantle, and winterberry, can counteract the poison. May the Maker's luck grace your hunt. Be safe, Sirrah.
Alright, so now we have to look out for these things.
I wish you luck on your hunt, Madame Hawk.
Madame Hawk.
Please, stop making such a fuss.
Find some bait and a location to lure a wyvern.
So these are the hunting grounds. We just need to look for signs and be careful. We get this over with, we get into the keep.
And that's where the jewel is?
That's where the jewel is.
The other thing, though, is that you can be able to actually try and bait out a much larger wyvern to be able to, like, get a bigger reward and get a bigger claim and such, so...
Have you seen a pair of coursers? I've been calling and calling, but it is no use. Nicodemus should know better. But Sylvain never had an ounce of sense in his head.
I have no idea who or what you're talking about.
My dogs, madame. What else could I mean? They took off after a stag, and the Maker only knows where they've gotten to now. Please, you must help me find them.
If I see your dogs, I'll let you know.
May Andraste guide you.
Sylvain! Dinner time!
A lot of blood. Would that be prey or from a wyvern itself?
I've heard they fight for dominance. Can't be gentle.
Maybe we can use some to draw out rivals.
That altar is very old and creepy. I wouldn't touch it.
It's not like I haven't touched ancient altars before. Hello.
I told...
It's fine.
How about you?
Keeps running away. There we go.
That thing was a juggernaut.
Not really.
Happy to be out of...
It's strange. I miss a lot. You're a far better laser hawk than I am.
I don't believe that.
Not our prey, I suspect.
Do dragons and wyverns even mix? I don't think so.
So if we drop part of this in the right spot, we might lure a wyvern out to protect its territory.
Good thought. Do that.
Added to what we have already, is it enough to draw one out of hiding?
I'd say so. A little one. Probably all we need. In the right spot, no doubt.
See, the trick here is to then keep on looking for more things that you can add to the bait in order to draw out not a small wyvern, but a big wyvern. The bigger you lure out, the bigger prize you can get.
Get back here. I am told wyverns roost in the trees. Perhaps if we shake them.
Hunting for sport. Is it wrong of me to cheer for the wyverns?
Just
Nope. Not at all, Fenris. Not at all.
With this filth on our face, do we really wish to draw such a creature to us?
You'd think none of them had ever been on a hunt before.
I mean, there were lesions, Tallis.
We've a hint of the beast! After it!
There's the Drake Vein. Hunting grounds east.
There is something in there. A nest, perhaps.
Oh, that's right. These things. Sorry. Ghast. The Ghast is a small, vicious creature that dwells in mountain caves. One is little more than a nuisance and will flee if threatened. A pack of 5 or more, however, is much bolder and can easily overwhelm a bear. Although Ghasts are cunning and able to cooperate for survival, they show no signs of true intelligence. They are unable to speak, communicating only through grunts and squeals.
Get back!
Blow darts, just like the fetishes in Diablo.
It's done. What in Antiquity's name were those?
Ghasts. Cave creatures. They don't come out on the surface much, however.
So cold. Oh, blessed Andraste, thank you. I thought I'd die out here. I've been trapped here since last night.
There are wyverns out here. By all rights, you should be dead.
Believe me, I know. I've been praying for deliverance for the last 4 hours. The truth told, I'm not looking for the Wyvern. I'm a scholar from Cumberland, researching an Avar cult that once lived here. They worship the Lady of the Skies to the exclusion of all other gods. I'm searching for their shrine.
I think I've been to your shrine. There were nothing but angry spirits at the site.
Nothing else. Pity. I had hoped... Ah, well. Rumors say they were driven from their last refuge. They left a great treasure in the goddess's keeping. But the mountain has defeated me. Please, take my research and see if you can do anything with it. I will try to make it back to camp. Good luck to you, Sarah.
Looks like we'll have to make our way back to that altar that we were at before.
Do we expect to find this thing? Do we even want to?
The sooner we get the hunt over with, the sooner we'll be at the chateau to finish this. Now what's this? Is that wyverns mating?
Could we mimic that?
No. Oh, the sound. Right, yes. I can try that. Fare ye well, the mighty hunters. That must be the altar that weird old guy mentioned.
The Book of the Lady.
What do his notes say?
They say that. Alright, let's make one more sweep of this area before we move on to the eastern hunting grounds. See, this is why it's important to find every single part of the map, because you never know if you're going to encounter something that's going to help you, you know, get more pieces that you need to find the bigger wyvern. Now I think 2 of the 3 herbs were found.
Taunting a wyvern. Oh, bad idea.
Never mind this lot.
Alright, we'll be heading to the eastern hunting grounds when we return. Stay tuned.